Hi everyone, welcome to the channel ServiceNowShiv. In the last session, we have seen how to create a widget from scratch, and we understood that a widget will have four parts: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, server side, and the client controller. Right? That was a very basic widget we did create. That was the greeting one, where we simply put the time along with the greeting message. Now it's a time to learn a very professional widget. That widget we will try to integrate with some external REST API that is not within the service now. So you should learn how to consume a REST API uh, from the ServiceNow widget and tie it to the page to render data. Right. So requirement that I want to fulfill today is we have a page in the home page. I want to show uh, a view where it will show me the data for different currency as on today based on the USD based currency conversion uh, number. So if I uh, want to show like what is the value of uh, Japanese currency against USD or a GBP or a INR, all this it should show me here. Now to show the currency conversion, I do not have data available within ServiceNow instance. Even though if I create in ServiceNow table, that will be the static data. I do not want that. I want to consume it live data so that it will not be outdated, right? So for live data, we have one open service available. If you simply hit, what it shows is against the base currency, that's USD, how the what is the value of different currency live, right? So based on this JSON, we will consume this JSON data in our widget and we will tie it to the page and render it, right? So that's what we want to achieve. Now, to do that, I did create a widget. I'll explain you all the section of this widget, how and what is being rendered. Now, after this session, when you see the description of YouTube, you will have the link of my GitHub repo where this widget is already available. You simply have to download the widget, that will be an XML file, upload into your instance, your widget will be available. Okay, so please watch this session and you will get the link for the widget XML file. All right, now in HTML, if you see, I want to create uh, a kind of tabular structure where we want to show data for different currency, right? So this is like a div where I think this is no much to learn. It's a simple HTML tags where I want to create a div with some by default classes already available and some class I did create as part of CSS. So not much learning curve here. Just to understand that within all this div, I have a table and that table is having a heading called currency with two column. One is called symbol, one is called exchange rate. Now under the body, if you see, we are having the multiple row of data depend upon how many currency you want to show, right? So that tr is being using a ng repeat. So if you know the Angular and JavaScript, you all should know this, that what is ng repeat will do, right? It will create uh, in a loop, right, based on the data available in this data.rates array. We will see how data.rates coming and how this all the variables is being rendered under the HTML. But HTML is very simple, where we create the multiple row of data based on number of item available in the array data.rates. So we have to show somewhere, we have to store a variable data.rates in the server side or client side, that we'll see. We also need a variable called data.base currency, that also we'll have to see where we are setting. All right, and the date is fine. We also want to know what is the name and the code. So I am showing uh, two TD. One is basically for the item name, second is for the item code, and third will be the value of that particular currency. So these three column will be there, and if data is not populated anyway by the server, by the response from the API, will show some message, error message. So I'm not spending more time on the HTML side. You will have the code, and also you can go through the videos in slow mode to understand this all, what is happening at what level, right? To support this HTML, if you see that we have a class currency panel. So for currency panel class, we have to define the certain CSS properties. So all these class that is not available out of the box, we did create a CSS at the widget level, right? Now let's come to code of server side. That's very important. Here we will understand how to consume on one external REST API from ServiceNow widget. So if you see that, this is my three variable I created: data.rates, base currency, is something that you can change. Like I'm hard coding to USD, but tomorrow if you want to change your base currency is GBP and you want to calculate the rate against the base currency of GBP, you can do that. But yeah, for the time being, I did hard code the base currency, and also we have one placeholder for error message. Now this is the API that we are calling, right? The same API that you see here. Now in this API, what we need is we need to hit with the base currency and what all target currency you need. For that, you have to pass the symbols. If you see that symbols is passed EUR, GBP, INR, all these, right? Similarly, we have to also pass the symbols so that data will be fetched against all these currency. Now, once the this endpoint is given, we have to create and evoke a REST API. So this is the way how we can consume or call any REST API from ServiceNow instance. There is a class from SNSWS object available out of the box. We have a REST message v2. From there, that constructor, we can simply call the any uh, REST API from the ServiceNow instance, right? So in this object, we have to set what is my type of method. Is it a GET or POST? So it's a GET. We have to send the URL endpoint that is we are already have available. Now, once we have this to set, we want to execute it. Execute means what? We have to call the. This is where the REST API call happen, right? REST API call. All right. So now it will respond in a object called response. With the response object, we can get the status code and the body. And we have to check if it is successful. So for any response, if it is successful, status code should be 200. Based on that, I wrote a condition. If it is 200, go and parse the JSON body. So we have a JSON body in this format. Now in this format, we have to get first the rates. Under the rates object, we have available the currency and the value. So if you see the code from the parse, it is checking that if parse is having one object called rates available. If yes, it is going and putting a loop against the rates. So rates is nothing but an array. It is having a five element, one, two, like that. We have five element in rates. So the loop will run for five times, and each and every time it is pushing what it pushing? The value and the code. Two things into a array, right? So uh, first one is code is symbol that is available for us. Code is symbol that is EUR, GBP and all. Now the rate that we are getting is the array symbol value. So if you see that, right, symbol is EUR, GBP, and R, all those. So for this symbol that is coming here, we'll discuss how it data getting parsed. So in this one, if you observe, for every symbol in parse dot rate. So what is the first symbol? First symbol is nothing but a CNY. Second is EUR. So it creates. Okay, so the array is having part now. I can say the first one is called code, right? So code will be what? The CNY. Now rate will be what? CNY. What is the value of CNY to two decimal value? So 6.82. Right? Similarly, it will try to create the object for code, rate, and name. Name is also get currency code. So you're calling on function currency code. Why we are doing this? Because in the table, I want to publish the name of the country also, like EUR for euro, GB for British pound, and all these, right? So for that, we call it the function. So three things are there. First is code, that is a CNY. Second is a value up to two decimal, and third one is the name of the country which is having this currency. So all these stores stored in a data. Now everything is done, and there also a date is being captured that coming from past dot date. So that is also there. All right, everything is there. So this date also captured. Now, once everything is done, if it is not responding, we'll have a error message and catch and all regular. Currency name I told you. So based on the code that you pass, it has to fetch what is the name of currency. Like for EUR, it's a euro. For GBP, it's British. For INR, it's Indian rupee. All these. So this is a very typical JavaScript code. The main part to differentiate here is how to consume a REST API from ServiceNow widget. And once you are there, it's plain JavaScript coding. In client side, we do not require anything. Only we required was a server side code because we want to pass the item dot name, item dot code, and all is coming from data dot rates. So data dot rates is having what three things, right? Name, code, and so name and code. If you see that in the server side, we were creating the name and code object, the name and the code and the rate, right? Name, code, rate. So all these here we are passing. So rate, name, and code that is being used within loop. So this is very typical logical JavaScript programming. Uh, uh, how to parse the JSON, how to create the array from there, and how to pass on that array into a HTML with the help of value replacement, right? So we have seen that in the previous script also. But once this code widget is ready, now what is our goal? We have to uh, store. We have to tie this to the page. I think we have to save this widget. I don't know if I changed something, but ideally I didn't. So once my widget is ready, I will have to tie this widget to my page in the service portal. So if you remember that last time also we discussed. So in the pages, this page is nothing but the index page that we have to pass. So this page is nothing but an index page. So I will search for index. Even though you download the XML from the Git, this step you have to do it. So you have to go to index page. Under index page, you will be having a designer. So go to designer, and then at certain place, just first search for your widget that we just created, currency. Now I want to place it somewhere here, suppose. So I will drag and drop here, right? Currency. So this is how it will look like. A preview is being already shown to you. Now, if you go to the portal, right? It is preview, but let's go to normal. mm, First, let's make it save it. So this is my preview, and I think it by default save. All right. Now let's go to a portal and simply see how it looks. All right, my widget is ready. So we able to publish with the live data, right? Currency for CNY, what is exchange rate for euro, for Japanese, and all these. So this is very typical requirement, a very professional widget where we consume data from some external API, and based on the code, we added the logic to render this in a service portal homepage. You can render it anywhere. Just wanted to demonstrate like how to get the professional widget with the help of external API. So we this widget we did create in last session. That was for the greetings. This is for the live data for the currency conversion exchange rate, right? So this is all for today. What you will get is you can download the XML file, upload. So how can you upload? Or you can upload to any widget, any table actually. When you go to simple, or you go to the SP widget table and simply right click and import the XML that you will get from the Git repo. Once you upload, you will search in this table. You will have a currency widget available, and from there on, as per the video, you can open the index page and drag that widget to your portal to see this. All right, that's all I wanted to show for today. If you are learning something, liking, and you want me to create more videos on different areas, please hit subscribe and like for these videos. Thank you. Thank you all.